As you walk through the valley of the shadow of hell, you will realize that there is something ahead. Something that lurks behind the dark veil. A veil that is beyond our own comprehension. Beyond the void.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to
Beyond the Void
Horror Podcast.
Right, we're back for a brand new edition. So, new week. We got two great episodes for you guys. As you may already know or have seen on our social media, we are going to be celebrating Women in Horror this month for the 9th annual Women in Horror month. It's always in February. We did this last year and we had a lot of fun doing it. We're going to try to pass it to everybody, try to get everybody's opinions on the team here at the BTV family. So we're going to have everybody up there, including Christina. Mark Doubt just put up a new article about the witch being witch please for the first day of February. So we're already deep into this with you guys, so you probably already know this, but for this whole rest of this month, we are going to be celebrating Women in Horror. We're going to be talking about different movies with women, predominant women, strong roles that we enjoy. For example, we're watching on this Thursday
American Mary and May. Perfect,
which Brittany picked.
Yay.
I was a little hesitant at first, but I think it turned out really nice, so I'm really excited to talk about it. And today, we have a special guest on again. We got Isaac Thorne, who is a writer and strong supporter of the community for horror. He dabbles in just a little bit of everything. He's a big-time writer. He also does Scream Radio, and he'll be doing the Graveplots with us today. Brittany will be stepping out for that. But how you been?
Good.
Yeah?
Busy.
Really?
Stressed.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been really tired. I can imagine. Like you said, you're working like 60 hours.
I want to jump off a cliff.
I mean, I don't know if I've worked. I don't know how much I've worked, but even on last night when I was like running behind trying to watch the movies, I was like, I don't even want to watch anything. I just want to go to bed. Like, yeah. I was struggling. Yeah. So I pounded some coffee, and I did the adult thing and finished it up.
Watched movies.
But it ended up, I really enjoyed it. So, but you said you've been busy, and is there anything that you've been able to do since you've been working so much? Or did you go out this week?
No.
Nothing? Well, you did the girl night, didn't you?
No.
Oh, man.
Nope. I went home and was like, all right, I'm ready. I'm going to get ready. And I went to bed. That's what I did.
Sometimes it happens that way.
I was like, I'm just going to lay down for like 20 minutes, and I fucking passed out. So that was fun.
You're like, fuck it.
Yeah, we went out Saturday for a minute.
Nice.
With Lauren and her boyfriend, Matt.
Oh,
and just
okay.
had a couple of really good cocktails at this place called the Windsor.
Nice.
So that was fun. Our waitress is really cool.
Yeah.
They apparently have a really bomb brunch. I don't know. They just had really good whiskey.
Who's going to be up early enough to go to that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, we were, because I don't know. I thought that we did go to that tattoo convention on Sunday.
Oh, wow. So you did do some stuff.
A couple hours, I guess, yeah.
Hey.
Wouldn't really consider it.
Hey, at least you're out of the house. I feel like I'm trapped
Yeah, we
here.
got day drunk, so that was nice.
There you go. That's a little celebration.
So we didn't really do anything else, so we were like, what can we do to kill? Because we thought, why we did this is because our tattoo artist wanted us to enter a piece of each into a contest on Sunday. So we were like, all right, like, he's a good friend of ours. So we were like, all right, well.
Yeah, and you couldn't make the Friday.
But yeah, I couldn't do Friday because it was like 2:00. And I'm like, I have a job. I can't go.
Yeah, I have a real job. Like,
I have a real job.
I'm a real job.
A real boy or girl. Whatever I am today. I don't know.
Yeah. Hang in there, Brittany.
I know. But yeah, so
did you win?
No, we thought registration was at noon, but it wasn't until 2. So we were already like on our way out that way at like 11 o'clock in the morning, And so by the time we got out, because it was a Mesa, so by the time we got out there, we just went to some bar that was literally right next door and watched the Pro Bowl.
Oh, okay.
And got fucking shitty drunk on $2 whiskeys because they have a really great happy hour at that place. That was awesome.
Did you make it back?
We ate some lunch and then we got super fucking shitty drunk and then we went over to the convention. And tattoo conventions to me, like I like them, but I only like them when I'm getting tattooed. Otherwise,
right.
It's kind of boring. So, I mean, unless you want to, if you're there to network and stuff, like that's one thing, or if you're like a tattoo model,
right? It's an industry thing.
It's an industry thing, and
yeah,
and I get it. But for me, I'm like, I just kind of sit around and
yeah, it's like, what are you gonna buy other than a tattoo? I guess clothing.
There wasn't even really any places that had clothing. That's what I was hoping. I was like, cool, I'm gonna buy some shit. Thankfully, there was a dude selling oddities and dead stuff there, which was awesome. So I bought a fucking sick mummified bat. So I'm really happy about that.
Fuck yeah, dude, that's awesome.
It was really cool. His stuff was like.
Did you post it? I didn't see it.
I haven't posted it yet because
okay.
I'm trying to find out.
We'll include it in the information if you could send it over to me.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm trying to get his business card because.
Okay.
I want to tag him in it because it's really nice.
Nice,
and
yeah.
I don't think I got a card or anything from him, so I'm trying to figure out who it is first before I post it up. So, but yeah, It was really nice. His stuff was like grossly underpriced, and I was like, I appreciate you, but you should charge more.
What did he say? Did you tip him?
Like, well, no, he didn't give me the option to tip him. He just entered the amount and then swiped my card, and then I signed it. Didn't give the option.
Oh,
it comes
so
across
he's just
as
cool as shit.
An Etsy sale. So,
Well, I had some pretty interesting stuff just occur before we recorded, by the way. So if you guys have been following along in the podcast, you probably know that I've had some very strange occurrences in this house. In one of our episodes, I talk about something that happened in our bedroom, something that happened to Christina a couple of times. We've had one of the shelves on in our cabinets in the kitchen just like completely fell on both sides. Like it makes no sense. And then today I heard a popping noise and I couldn't figure out what it was. I literally walked around the entire house and Christina was in bed sleeping and I was like, what the fuck? I know I heard that. I was like, what the fuck was that? And then I stood up after I heard this and I was like, okay, whatever's here, make yourself present. Like, let me know that you're here. And I stood there for like 10 seconds waiting because I was like really freaked out by it. It was the only noise I heard. Like there was no banging on the wall, no nothing. And then Brittany comes over hours later and I'm walking into the room and I see the mirror on the wall just smashed and like broken all the way around and in the center. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with the mirror? And then I was like, oh yeah, there was that noise earlier. I wonder what that must have been what it was. And then I was like, rationally, if I wanted to think about this, I would say, well, our neighbors always slam their fucking doors. Like seriously, like it's really bad. Like the whole house shakes. And we live in like a row of houses that are all together. And it's kind of like more of like a condo, like single level. They call them townhomes, but we don't have a second floor, which is what
Yeah, they're just single story townhomes.
Yeah, it's a townhome. But yeah, like our neighbors slammed the doors and I was like, well, maybe, it finally caught up. But it looks like something pushed it in, right? Like and it looks like it has two impact points, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has two impact points, like one that's lower and then one that's higher. So it's a little
odd.
Weird. I think they have a demon, but
and if you guys want to see that, you should be following my Instagram. I don't fucking know. I'll put a link down below. You guys should fucking add me. I want to be IG famous, yo. But anyway, dude,
Instagram too.
It's like
Alex
the never-ending.
BTV cast.
Is it Alex BTV cast? Yeah. So yeah, you can add me on there. I post shit there all the time. But yeah, it's really weird. It's like this never-ending saga of this nonsense that's fucking happening, and I don't understand it. It's freaking me out, dude. Like, Christina was like, she put fucking rosary beads up on it like she did with the cabinets.
Christina's not fucking around anymore.
Yeah,
I know. So one day I opened up your cabinet and I'm like, why is there a rosary in here?
That's funny. But yeah, guys, I don't know. What do you think? Is it just the neighbors pounding, slamming their doors, and then somehow this wooden mirror just finally broke and it shattered in like 2-3 places? Like, and it's all the way around. Like it doesn't just like crack in like one part and it's like some hairline fracture. It like cracked in a circle, like something pushed it.
Yeah, it looks like, it's cool though. It looks cooler now.
Yeah, I have a couple of videos up. If you have me on Instagram, you'll probably see them. I don't know, I'll save them somewhere.
Christina and I are standing in the background like, everything's got to go on the internet.
Yeah, Christina's like, I think we should move.
Yeah. She's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
We came back from being outside for a minute, and Christina's like got a Jesus candle lit and a fucking rosary
beads
on the wall where the mirror was, and she lit sage. And I'm like, oh, you're not fucking
did,
around,
yeah.
are you?
She's like, fuck that shit.
Nope.
Not in my house, motherfucking demon.
Not today. Not today, Satan.
Anyway, guys, I think it might be that time, Brittany.
It's that time.
Horse shots! All right, guys, so we're back for Horror Shots, and we're going to do a special edition. Normally, we kind of do them themed around, like, a movie in particular. This kind of is, but it's also a little different. We're theming this one around the Soska Sisters in the movie American Mary. They do a cameo, a pretty big cameo, actually. They're two of the characters, practically, in the movie, and they drink a drink in there. And we wanted to do, they do a candy apple martini,
martinis.
but we don't have any gin, and
nobody
wants to drink a shot of gin. Like, it's overpowering and disgusting, in my opinion, to do it that way.
I don't feel like chewing on pine needles.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it is.
What it is.
Yeah. So we're going to call this one a Soska-Tini shot. So it's not a martini, it's a shot. And there's 3 ingredients in this one.
Soska-Tini. I'm sorry.
Soska-Tini. So there's 3 ingredients.
I like that. I'm funny.
Brittany's not happy about one of these ingredients. One of them is vodka. So you're going to fill it up halfway with vodka and the other half apple pucker. For those of you who watch me game stream, you probably know that I drink vodka, apple pucker, and ginger ale. But this is kind of a different variation because you're going to fill it up to the top with the vodka and the apple pucker equally. And then you're going to take 1 tiny drop of sriracha sauce.
I was like, why are you? It's sriracha.
I don't know. I almost called it something else. Oh,
I want the one that you didn't just like say oops about, because I feel like that's going to be the better one. This is just 2 little diblets in here.
So we figured, the Twisted Twins are pretty twisted, so we had to put something twisted in there. And I think it tastes. It's our horror shot section, guys. What do you want from me? All right, we're trying to make everything. We're trying to make fucking
eat a dick.
Yeah,
basically.
All right, cheers.
Cheers
to the Soska Sisters.
To the Twisted Twins.
To the Twisted Twins. Cheers.
What?
Ooh.
It's so good, except for the sriracha.
I don't know what it is, but I really like when they're spicy and sweet together. Like, one of my favorite drinks is the apple pie moonshine.
Oh, shit's good.
And then
real good.
And then take a when you take shots of this or sip on it or whatever, I was like squirting Tabasco in my mouth.
You're gross.
Like while I was doing it, but it tastes amazing.
Yeah,
like
Mouse
no
would like
shit.
this shot because he likes sriracha.
Does he? Oh, okay. See, I don't know what it is, man.
You guys are like,
are we? I think he's gonna marry me.
You guys are gonna bone.
Cannot wait.
You're not gonna bone. You're just gonna get married and
I'll be his bottom. I don't even care.
There's gonna be a regular American marriage. Just be married but not have sex.
Anyway, guys, if you want to figure out how to make this shot, you want to go check out the #HorrorShot section in our longlivethevoid.com website. You can do that right now. We have a ton of different other drinks in there. I highly urge you to drink them, and some of them probably not.
As long as you're 21.
Yes, as long as you're 21 or legal wherever you are in whatever country you live in.
Yeah.
It's all good by me. But that's it for Horror Shots.
Horror Shots!
All right, guys, so now what we're going to be doing is we're going to jump into the Graveplots segment that Isaac did with us. I had a really good time talking with him, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. We got to pick one of our listeners' choices, so who's it going to be?
Who's me? It's me, guys.
You don't listen.
Surprise! I don't. Not all the time. I'm so terrible. I do listen, just
no, I can't.
Not every day.
But guys, check out this new Graveplots right now. right, guys, so we're back with one of our special guests to do Graveplots with us today, and we're going to take a little bit of time to sit down and talk to our guest, Isaac Thorne, who is a writer and audio director, so to speak. He does a lot of storytelling through audio, through podcasts, and all a manner of different places. He's written books like this more recent one, Road Kills, which is a short stories and sort of like an anthology of different horror stories, I think, right?
That's correct.
Well, welcome to the show, man. I appreciate you coming out.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Yeah, man. You've been such a super awesome, supporter, man. I really need to dig deep into some of your stuff. If you had to recommend a book, what would you say?
Right now, that would be Roadkills.
Roadkills?
It's got just about everything that I've put out as short singles, plus some extra stuff is in that book.
Okay.
The only thing that's not in there is a short story I have out now called Plant. So yeah, most of it's in Roadkills.
And you can get that on Amazon and a couple places on your website, right?
Absolutely. You can get the ebook or the paperback on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. If you want a signed paperback with a free Evil Bunny sticker, you can order directly from isaacthorne.com.
And that's probably the best place to order it too, because that way you get pretty much 100%, right?
Absolutely.
That's where I typically go for all my writer friends, because I'm like, if I'm going to spend the same amount of money, I'm going to go right to them, because that's the way.
Exactly.
So have you always, you and I had a little bit of pre-show talk, and you had mentioned that you had been doing this. I think you said something about ever since holding a crayon or something like that.
I've been writing for as long as I've been reading, basically. And yeah, I mean, and of course there have been periods when I've been, focused on other things like career and cars and girls when I was a teenager, but I've always come back to the writing. So yeah, I've been doing this a long time. I've only really started publishing what I've written creatively in 2013. So that's as far back as my actual Amazon catalog goes, but I've been writing forever.
Yeah, I've heard that you've said that it was a very personal thing for you.
Yes.
And that's why you pretty much haven't released it into the public.
Right. Exactly.
Was it a sort of I hate to say it this way, but I kind of write music and stuff like that because it helps to keep me focused. And I think absolutely. It is a very personal thing that way sometimes. So is that kind of why, or?
That is why, and it also helps. It helps me process things,
right?
And it can be processing something personal that's happened in my life. It can be processing something that's happened on the news that I found disturbing. But that's the primary thing. Is I'm trying to process information just like we all are, and for some reason it works better for me if it goes into my head and then comes out my fingertips so I can reread it.
That's awesome.
And figure out what I think,
Sure. And if you've been doing this for so long, what was do you remember one specific thing or a certain time frame that you were like, okay, this is what I want to do, or you just kept writing for years? I mean, how did it spark?
I just kept writing, basically. I mean, I always knew that I wanted to write. I didn't always know that I wanted to write creatively. I didn't always know that I wanted to write fiction. I did. I've done technical writing. I've done spots of journalism here and there throughout my life for different publications. But the fiction aspect, the creative, the storytelling that spawns from my head rather than from fact or how things work is something that was always kind of in the back of my mind that I would like to do. But when you're young, when you're, in your late teens and early 20s and you're trying to build a career, that's not something you think that you can ever make a living doing. Or at least I didn't.
Sure, no.
So,
but you never know until you try, and then
right,
2013 rolled around, you were ready to go, huh?
Yeah. Well, I'm in my 40s now, and I'm like, if I don't do it now, the world is changing so fast now. If I don't do these things now and get out there what I'd like to get out there, then I mean, it could all be different tomorrow. Books could be gone. So.
Yeah. Well, if anything's going to be gone, just imagine if we had this surge that, like a EMP that went off and like everything was gone. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like only thing that would be left is those damn books. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, and you have to remember, you remember history. There was the and I can't think of the name of it now, but the famous ancient library that had this huge storehouse of all the world's knowledge, and it burned. And there was nothing left of it after that. So all this knowledge that was then started to uncover again during the Renaissance had been lost forever.
Right. Well, it makes me, what it makes me think of? I can't remember that Simon Pegg movie where the aliens come down and they, I forget what it's called, the one where they go on the pub crawl. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know that one.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
No, I don't think I've seen that one.
Well, I don't want to ruin it for you, but there's very similar tones for you. But yeah, basically, they came, all this information just disappeared overnight, and then they had nothing left. They didn't know how to do anything anymore. So,
yeah, and so you start over from scratch,
right?
Which is that's good in some ways because you can create new stuff. But how do you know you're going to be around when that happens?
Right.
So yeah. The back to my point, the basic point was I just felt that if I didn't start now, I would never start. Okay. So
well, you said you also did audio too, and you do for Scream Radio. You do Thorne's Theater of Terror, and you also do this sort of like little segments of classic cuts, you call it. It's like excerpts of some of the horror movies that are on public domain in a way, and you kind of mix them together.
Not movies, horror novels.
Novels. Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're readings from horror novels. Now, Thorne's Theater of Terror, I actually owe a lot of the inspiration for that to a woman named Leanne Moonraven, who a couple of years ago used to run an internet audio theater network called Carmen. And she took one of my stories, Because Reasons, and turned it into an audio play. Wow. For her network, and did just such an amazing job with it that I became my interest in audio sort of became rekindled with that. And then when Tracy came along with Scream Radio and asked me to be a part of it, I jumped at it. So Thorne's Theater of Terror are my original stories done. It's a reading, but with, some audio drama aspects like sound effects and music. I also serialized the Oscar Wilde novel, The Portrait of Dorian Gray. Nice. Over like 8 episodes.
Yeah, I was going to say that would take a while.
But Classic Cuts is short excerpts, like 3 to 6 minute excerpts from famous horror novels like Dracula or Frankenstein or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I've also done War of the Worlds for that. Thorne's Theater of Terror is on like 3 times a day, I think, now. And Classic Cuts is just interspersed wherever they have space they need to fill during the programming. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it.
That's awesome. And
yeah,
I love taking that written word and then turning it into something even more atmospheric like that. I think it's awesome.
I'm excited about it, and I'm not the only Scream Radio host. Tracy has this wealth of horror personalities that do their own shows there. There are other stories. There's music. There's interviews she does with all kinds of people. So it's a great entertainment.
Yeah, they're really supportive too, just like you. And by the way, guys, if you ever go on Twitter, this man is probably one of the more supportive people in the horror community you will ever meet. A no joke. Like, I don't even know how you have the time, Isaac. Seriously.
Hey, it's not easy. I tell you, it's not easy, but I'm committed to it. And
you are.
The reason I'm committed to it is horror right now is enjoying this incredible renaissance thanks to television, movies, books and audio even. There's a tremendous amount of interest in it right now, and I want to do my part to help sustain that.
Awesome. Yeah, me too, man. I totally agree with you. 100%. We're seeing this whole 80s revive Like,
right.
it's like 80s all over again, and people don't even realize it. It's like they're in the fire. They don't see that it's a fire. They're like, holy shit, like, I'm just having a regular day, but they don't realize, like, how booming it is right now.
Absolutely.
That's why I think, you know, and I don't know if you agree with me on this or not, but I feel like when people get mad about remakes, I understand the point of view, and I definitely agree that there is so much talent out there that they should. But in the same respect, it does scratch the back of some other horror for people to take
Sure.
risks because it widens the audience a little bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there were remakes in the 80s that actually prompted me to go back and watch originals. I never would have watched The Fly,
Right.
the Vincent Price The Fly, if it hadn't been for the Jeff Goldblum
Right.
The Fly. And you know, as much as I love the modern the 2017 chapter 1 of It, I also love the miniseries. And there's been the whole debate there about whether, you know, which was better, who was the better Pennywise, or whether it is even a remake. And I was thinking to myself the other night, I don't really consider the 2017 It a remake of the 90 miniseries. Because it's a different format.
And it was never in theaters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I love them both. I mean, I thought Tim Curry was an excellent choice for Pennywise at the time. And I think Bill Skarsgård just nailed it in the movie as well.
You know what's weird, though? I do think, and yeah, like, it's two different beasts. These are, like, two different beasts in the same family. And it's like, I think where the new one's strong points are is the kids. A little bit. And
absolutely.
I think the old one is more Tim Curry. So it's almost like a trade. So you can't even really compare the two. I mean, you can, but you can't. It's like a lot of people get really upset about the nostalgic aspect of It, the miniseries, because it's very nostalgic. It turned a lot of kids into horror fans because of that movie. So of course there's this nostalgia, this like ownership over it. And that nostalgia is a hell of a drug.
Right.
So it kind of blinds some people, I think. But
I agree with you. And you know, at the same time, I say all that, and I look at the remake of Fright Night. And if I had watched the Fright Night remake first, I probably would have enjoyed it more than I did. I'm a huge fan of the 1985 Fright Night.
Right.
I watched it so many times. I have it on disc, and I still have it on VHS. The VHS copy I had when I was, you know, a teenager, I actually still have. And when the remake came along, there was that part of me that was simply determined not to like it because it's a remake. Well, I watched it again recently, and I'm thinking it's actually not a bad movie.
Right.
It's a good movie on its own. And if I didn't have that 1985 Fright Night nostalgia, you know, I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more than I did.
I thought Anton Yelchin, is that his name? The one that passed away. I thought he did a really good job.
I did too.
I thought that was, I mean, I think that's what started his career big time, was that movie in particular. So
absolutely.
I do feel like the new one had the tail end, the very end was a little over CGI thing, but I saw it. I think I saw it in 3D. when it came out to the theater. So the embers and things was cool to look at, but other than that, I was not too pleased with that. But overall, I love David Tennant. I love Anton Yelchin. So I thought it was a good combo. I'm
actually a David Tennant fan, but I didn't like what they did with Peter Vincent.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, because Peter Vincent in 1985, there was a reason for his character to be called upon by Charlie Brewster. You know, because he claimed to believe in vampires, number one, and he was this legendary horror actor in vampire movies, B-movie actor. In the new Fright Night, I had more trouble with the believability that Charlie would seek him out.
Right, I see what you mean. It was just because he was a collector, right? Like, is that what it was? He was like a magician, like a famous like magician in Vegas or something.
Exactly.
It's been a while for me, so I need to rewatch it now. But So let me ask you this. I mean, clearly you like writing, and not to take away from either audio or writing, you obviously like to marry the two. Do you see anything in the future that you might be doing leaning towards the combination of the two, or maybe something outside of that, or video even at some point?
What do you mean by combination of the two? You mean like more audio theater or?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it could be like, we got on, what do you call it? On Prime Video, they do the lore thing in a way, which is kind of an interesting aspect that you could, might be something that you might be interested in too.
Yeah, I haven't really put any thought into it. I've been so focused on my writing process lately, anyway, that I haven't even really thought about it. I have made a slight avenue into film. Dig 'em, which is one of my original short stories and an audio play. Now I wrote a screenplay for that I've submitted to a few film festivals, and it got a nod for best short script in the Shiver International Film Festival, and it won for best violence in Chemical Film Festival, which I was ecstatic about.
That's awesome, man.
It's not their biggest award, but it's best violence. I mean,
yeah, that's a nice award,
Yeah, exactly. And I'm working with a small independent film production company out of Pennsylvania called My Little Rascal Productions. And they have created a short film out of Because Reasons.
Okay.
So that's hitting the film festival circuit now. And they've actually contracted with me to do adapt 2 or 3 more of my shorts.
Nice.
So there are always other possibilities out there. I can't predict really, where I'm going to go, but I've kind of got my fingers in all the pies, I guess.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, no, I think it's good though. I'm really glad that, how supportive you are. I think it's super awesome, and that you're busy on your own stuff. And, if you stick your fingers in enough places, I guess,
yeah,
something, it kind of nurtures each other in a way,
Yeah.
So
you'll either come back with something great or it'll get bitten off. But.
I was kind of a weird analogy anyway. I started going somewhere real sexual with it. I was like, what are you saying right now, Alex?
It's getting late.
I gotta run. I'll catch you later. Well, guys, if you haven't already, there is going to be some links below, and we'll also plug a lot of it at the end of the Graveplots here. But I definitely urge you to go check this out and add him especially on Twitter, because he's always like abreast of everything that's coming out, and he's involved in so many different things. We'll have all the links below, so definitely check that out, and definitely add him on Twitter. But I think we should probably jump into the Graveplots right now. I asked Isaac to give me a couple of movie titles, so he has a few in there. We also have about 7 or 8 other people who put some in here as well, so we have a pretty large pile, including some of our own. So you know how this works, Isaac, right?
I believe I do, yeah. I keep wanting you guys to post a picture of the skull, though.
We can't. It'll curse you. And then... the reason that we joke about the skull thing is because we had a guest on, Don Thacker, who was like, why are you guys, like, because one of our old hosts that used to be on here, Patrick, always got mad when I said hat, because he was like, it's not a hat, it's a cup. And and so then when we were talking about that, when Don Thacker was on, when he did a Graveplots with us, and he was like, well, what are you talking about? You can make up anything you want. And I was like, that's a really good point. So that's a secret. Don't tell anybody, Isaac.
All right. Everybody forget you heard that.
You didn't hear anything, anybody. For the new listeners and people who do not know what Graveplots is, what we do is we make up movie titles and we write them down. We put them into a crystal skull with diamond eyes worth billions of dollars. And then we pull the name out. We take turns, whoever it may be. Obviously, Isaac's not here with me, but if one of his gets picked out of this, then he has to remain quiet while I develop the story for it. Now, if it's one of the listeners that actually listen and we pull it out, we're going to make up the story just going with it because we never made it up in the first place. But that will be the name of the title of this episode, and we're going to be pulling that out. Once we do that, we come up with the kills, the characters, pretty much like a really rough draft version of a movie. And then by the end, we come up with the tagline, and I even make a VHS cover for it. So we make it up on the spot within about 45 minutes to an hour. So we're going to jump into that right now. So, okay. So we have one from one of our listeners. His name is actually Random Viewer. He is one of the mods and friend of mine for the twitch.tv streaming that I do. Super awesome guy. His title is called The Cadillac Killers. He wrote, I am just a huge fan of cars, so I had to put this in there. So Random Viewer, thanks for the submission, man.
Awesome.
So what do we do with this?
I immediately, of course, the two things that immediately enter my mind are Christine.
Yes.
And the episode of American Dad where Roger decides to be a limousine driver and his first fare stiffs him. So he decides to go on a killing spree and mows them all down with the car.
Okay. So maybe a combo, something. So
maybe a combo of something like that. I mean, we don't want to do haunted car completely because it's obviously been done, but
and one of them's done it better than any. So
yes, yeah, absolutely.
It could be that they're just a bunch of group of guys that have they drive around a bunch of Cadillacs and they're some sort of killer. Like we're still early in the story here, but they drive around these Cadillacs and they actually kidnap people, kill people, tie them up. I mean, I don't know where we go from here.
Maybe it's an initiation. Maybe this is a club. I mean, and the title was Killers, right? Plural.
Ooh, now you got me thinking.
Yeah, this is a club, and the initiation is they have to kill someone of the leader's choice or at random. I'm not sure which.
Maybe at random, and they do it. They have to steal a car, a Cadillac, and then they have to kill them in the most creative possible way with video or pictures, proof.
Yeah,
probably video.
All right, kill them with the car or...
It could be that. It could be anything. It could be inside the car. They have to display them in some certain way in the back of the trunk. I mean, it could be a whole...
It just has to involve the car somehow.
Right. It has to be the car.
All right.
Some of them get run over. Some of them get, some people are just a little bit different, a little creative.
Yeah, there you go. And maybe they wire the car up with cameras. Interior and dash cam and on the front. So they've got the video.
Right.
Proof.
They kind of modern it up a little bit. It's more of a modern horror in a way. Now, are these old Cadillacs? Are they trying to steal old Cadillacs? Because that's going to be difficult, right? That's
going to be difficult. Well, yeah. I mean, how many are there out there now that are?
They're limited to 3 in the in the tri-state area or some shit,
Because I mean, that could be an initiation alone, is just stealing a Cadillac of a certain age. So I'm going to say maybe any, as long as it is a Cadillac.
Okay. But the older, so maybe you can get new ones, you can get old ones. They tell them, maybe it's like this group of people that like you were saying, initiating these people, and they're like, the older you find, the bigger chance that you will get. Maybe it's even a contest, like a money thing.
Yeah, or ranking or something.
Right.
In
the
organization.
And the worst of the kills gets murdered or something like, you know what I mean? Like there's got to be some punishment for not doing it well enough.
Right. And then, okay, and we need to figure out, well, maybe we don't have to figure this out, but there has to be some way for our protagonist to become involved with this club and not, he's being forced to go along with it, but he doesn't really want to.
Right. Like he's a good guy, but somehow he got mixed up in it.
Yeah. So he's got to try to, his goal is to try to, maybe he's trying to infiltrate the organization. Maybe he's like, law enforcement.
What if his brother was involved in it and they somehow brainwashed him and he's going in
to try to get him out?
Right. Or because he got killed. Like maybe his brother was drawn and quartered by 4 Cadillacs.
Nice.
Do you see what I'm saying? They like chained him up and they ripped his fucking body apart.
Absolutely.
Like, you wouldn't know that till the end or close to the like 3rd act, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, well, he would know that he was dead, but he just wouldn't know what exactly happened. But somehow he finds out in the like 1st or 2nd act, and then that's when he tries to join. So yeah, the 1st act would be him being upset about it and trying to find out why, and then the 2nd act will be him finding out and trying to join the whole fucking thing, and then the 3rd act will be how he takes it down.
Absolutely. Okay.
Wow, we're good. So, game over, guys. We're done. I'm kidding. I definitely like the whole drawn and quarter thing. I think that's badass. It doesn't necessarily have to be how his brother died, but at least it's got to be in there. You know?
Yeah.
Like at least one of the guys that didn't do well that was trying to get initiated, who gets drawn and quartered by the 4 Cadillacs.
Yeah, and the 1st act would have to involve him not the main character not really being initiated yet, but seeing the results of these things.
Okay.
So that's where like the more random kills. That's where we see the more random kills happen, like other initiates going through their things. So our guy sees what has to happen.
Okay. So is this like he stumbles upon it somehow through like either somebody sending him a link to some of the footage that they leaked?
Maybe it's like leaked on the dark web or something.
Right. And in the end, it could, like, I don't want to get too weird with this, but what if like they wanted him to come in the first place and they put him through this as like to try to get him on board? Because
they know he's related to one of their...
Somehow, yeah. Like, I don't know exactly how. It could be too cheesy, but I think it'd be interesting that we flipped the script on the guy at the end and that they knew he was coming the whole freaking time.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah. It's hard not to do that. It's hard to do that without making it cheesy a little bit. Take some careful planning, I think. So who is going to be the protagonist? So we got a brother. We know that
we got a brother.
So we'll call his brother Ben. What's his brother's name? The one that's investigating all this.
Let's do something like unusual, like Earl.
Okay, sounds good to me. So Ben and Earl.
Ben and Earl.
Okay, or Jerry. No, I'm kidding.
My head went to that same place, but I was like, wait, they're not going for ice cream.
That's not Rocky Road. That's Rocky Ben. I'm just kidding.
That's Rocky Ben.
Okay, so now does he have any? Maybe is his brother his only family? Like maybe they were, like they lost their parents at an early age.
Their parents are dead, and they were the only children. And I think Earl has to be the older brother.
Yeah, he's going to be the one that's always in trouble.
Yeah,
that's kind of a typical trope, but it makes sense.
Right.
Or should he? Yeah, because why would his brother go into this stupid thing anyway?
Right.
Okay. So Ben is like 10 years older than him or something?
Yeah. I think that's a good number. We don't have to know why their parents are gone after a 10-year, difference between the two. So
that's when we make a movie.
Right.
We'll iron out all the weird shit then. So just relax, listeners. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so Ben is older. They lost their parents at an early age. How does he find out there's a link that's somehow forwarded to him, or at least in some way he's able to see this and he sees his brother who dies?
I think, Ben had a friend in the organization that didn't want to see this happen.
Okay.
But had no power to stop it. Well, and he knows that Ben has a brother that's outside the organization, so maybe he finds out how to contact him and anonymously send him this link to the video of what's happened to Ben.
Okay. And so he watches this and he just freaks out. Like, he just freaks out. Like, I think that the movie might be good to, like, start out, like, him finding out about his brother or something, dying first and then going to the funeral. And this whole thing. And then, like, some time has passed. It's got to be a little bit of time.
Yeah, like maybe a month.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, the viewer will see what happens to his brother, maybe ahead of time to kind of kick off the movie.
Yeah, that'd be a great cold open.
Be a really cool way to intercut the funeral with what happened to him.
Yeah.
I think would be interesting. So you see him, I don't know, I think the drawn and quartered thing would really catch the attention of people at the beginning of the movie. So maybe we should just punch the viewer in the face with that.
Yeah.
Intercut with all the, like, sad things about, I don't know why his brother died and things. Maybe he's thinking about his brother and it's intercut with these moments and you won't really know. I think that.
And you could add to it with the intercut with the funeral and everything. I mean, you make sure that they see that it is closed casket and people have these horrified looks on their faces as they think about, why it's closed. Maybe we see, flashes of newspaper clippings or something, detailing, how he was found and stuff like that.
Or what if, like, someone's at the funeral talking about what happened?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? And as he's telling the story, it shows what really happened.
Absolutely.
I think that would be interesting. Yeah, that's good. Fuck. So what does Earl do as a living, or how does he get by? Is that even important?
Well, I think it is, because I think whatever he does for a living, I mean, a lot of people are simply going to take this video that they found to law enforcement.
Okay.
Immediately. They're going to call the police immediately. And if we don't give people a reason that Earl wouldn't do that, then that's the first thing that pops in my head is like, why didn't you go to the cops? So he either needs to be law enforcement, or he needs to be a journalist or something like that, in order for him to feel an obligation, beyond just his relationship, for him to feel the obligation to get involved. Like, only I can do this.
Okay. So does he have any significance, you think, in his life? Like, girlfriend, maybe a best friend, or anything that might kind of try to hinder him from going off onto this journey, so to speak, once he finds out about this?
Yeah, I think he probably should. I don't think it should be I don't think it should be a girlfriend, though.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. It could be just a best friend.
Yeah, I think it should be like a best friend, because if you get the love interest involved, I think he's more likely to say, "Yeah, you're right. Let's go to the police."
Right.
Because he wants to protect her, you know, as in addition to find justice. But if it's just a bro, just his best friend, then he's going to be more able to just dismiss it and go on and do what he wants to do. Okay.
So now let's talk about the organization that is running this a little bit, just to give kind of a little bit of a backstory. It doesn't have to we don't have to paint the picture why they're doing it necessarily, but just some of the characters that might be the heads of this. Do you know what I mean? That they could answer to somebody else that's above them and so on. What do they call it? Compartmentalized sort of thing.
Right. There's got to be some money motive involved somewhere, at the top. Otherwise, they really wouldn't be doing this unless you just happen to have a group of sociopaths who all happen to have the same car fetish.
Right. What if it's like I know this is kind of a silly trope that's kind of overused a little bit, but if there's money involved, there's probably some rich people trying to pull the strings for entertainment, which kind of reminds me of like tones of like The Purge a little bit, but not. And these people are just like sick, demented guys that run these Cadillac crews that
Oh yeah, somehow. And that's where our video evidence of the kills comes in, because they take that footage and maybe they edit it, into these little mini Faces of Death style movies and sell it, stream it,
Right.
online, and profit from it that way.
Yeah, some way that you can't track it.
Right.
Or they black out the people's face or something, but he sees
Yeah.
like his brother's ring, which was his father's wedding ring that he wears on his, you know what I mean? Somehow,
Yeah, there you
something
go.
like that. Like that's how he knows it's him, because they blur everything out, but he knows that necklace or that,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And they then you'll see like a flash of him thinking of that moment where he has with his brother, where he's like, he tried to give it to him, but he was like, no, you're the big brother now. And
Nice.
something sentimental, so that, you feel the strife that he's going through to try to kill these motherfuckers because they're bad people.
Right.
So what about, okay, so like maybe there's like 4 bosses of these Cadillac Killers. And the rich people really don't give a fuck what they do with it as long as it's entertaining.
Yeah.
But these sick guys, these 4 Cadillac Killers, these guys that make these other guys go out and do it, either by force or initiation or money, like we were talking about, somehow they, yeah, I think that would be a good idea that they would, I don't know. It's kind of like, it's hard to say because like maybe they give them money, but they'll kill them if they don't do it anyway, kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it could be they have a financial incentive to keep going, but they also have a fear for their lives and their own safety.
Okay.
That keeps them motivated. So they're given enough to make them comfortable, and if they don't go along, not only do they lose that, they can be killed.
Okay. So maybe one of the guys will make a joke about it.
Yeah.
One of the bad guys, it'd be funny. It'd be like, hey, you can leave, man, if you want. We're not going to make you do anything, but you win all this money, but you can walk right out that door. And maybe one of them talks under his breath. Yeah, that'll never happen. Like
Nice. Yes.
something
And
like that.
maybe the bosses could actually kind of incentivize competition between them too. Like maybe they each have their favorite member of the organization, or even their little cliques, their little
Right.
teams. So they're kind of like, NFL owners or something.
Okay. I kind of like the idea of the 4 Cadillac Killers being kind of, I don't want to say caricatures, but just really strong characters. Like each of them has like a specific thing that they do, kind of like you would find in like Road Warriors or something, like how
Nice.
like the one guy has the mohawk, or in like the, what is it? The one with Tina Turner, they have the Master Blaster guy, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, I feel like if you were to do it real stylish, this would be really interesting. And it would be a little over the top, but not too much. It could still be based in reality. But if you get them sort of character traits, it's like nicer to see them die.
Right. Well, maybe one of them could wear an eye patch.
Okay. Call him Blackbeard or some shit.
Like, yeah.
Or
So one of
what's
them's got an eye patch.
what's another beard? Redbeard or
Redbeard.
something like that. He's got a big old beard. He's got a shaved head, and he's got a big, like, I don't know, like maybe he's got like an iron cross on his head or something like that. And he wears sunglasses all the time, and he even though he has an eye patch or something, or maybe we shouldn't wear sunglasses. What am I talking about?
He should wear the eye patch over the sunglasses.
He's severely insecure about his eye patch, guys. Like, calm down, all right?
He's missing a lens on the sunglasses, so he wears the eye patch over that lens.
Yeah. He puts a googly eye right on the eye patch.
That would be hysterical.
Right? Yeah. Maybe he has like a fake googly eye under it one time in the movie, and he just like scares one of the guys, and he's like gets all serious up in his face. He's like, and then he pulls his eye thing up, and he's like, ah! Oh, Redbeard, awesome, you crazy fuck. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying now. I'm getting out of control. Help me get back on track here, Isaac.
All right, so we need 3 more unique characteristics, right?
Okay, yeah. So we need 3 more.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like a tweaker one, like a skinnier guy that's like, real skinny. Teeth are all fucking jacked up because he's a meth addict.
Yeah.
And he's just like out of control, and they call him what's a cool like single word name?
Oh, let's see. Stick.
There you go. Or it's just Sticks.
Yeah, Sticks. Yeah.
Because like when you see him walking, they just call him Sticks.
Sticks, yeah.
But they're like, you may look weak, but he's a freaking, a Rottweiler let loose, Okay, so we got Sticks, Redbeard, and then 2 more. Where do you go?
All right. One of them needs to really enjoy showing off their wealth. So one of them just needs to have a lot of jewelry, a lot of gold,
a lot of nice suits and things.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, real different from the others.
Right.
Okay, that's good. I like that. Mr. Money.
Yeah.
Yeah, or some. Yeah, I don't know. Mr. Money's a little too plain, but
maybe
call him Wall Street.
Yeah, that's good.
That's like a good name. Yeah, Mr. Money just sounds. It reminds me of like, what is it? Wayne's World or something. So we got Wall Street, Sticks, and Redbeard, and we need one more.
One more.
What's a different woman? It's got to be a woman.
Yeah.
Maybe she's like native, or she could just be a Mohawk chick.
Color blade.
Yeah, there you go. She's got a real tall blue mohawk.
Yeah.
With those little Chelsea things on the side of her face.
Nice.
Do you know what I mean? She's kind of goth punk, sort of, I don't know, industrial wasteland chick, I don't know. She's like something like that. And she drives around a Cadillac that's like a freaking hearse.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like, that'd be kind of cool.
Skull and crossbones on it somewhere, like maybe the hood ornament or something.
But it's got to be one of them old ones,
Right.
It's got to be one of them old blocky ones, And she's got like blue lights all over it or something. Yeah, I like this. Okay. So I don't want to make a car for each of them, but maybe Sticks is an overcompensator, so he drives like a big old, like jacked up Cadillac, with like the big tires, almost like a what do you call it, a monster truck almost, but not all the way.
Cool.
Just lifted. Then Redbeard drives a boat. No, I'm kidding. He has a pie.
It could be boat themed though. He could have like a giant anchor on the back of it or something.
Oh, his steering wheel is a fucking like it's like a smaller steering wheel. But like a boat steering wheel.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's just like a regular red Cadillac, but with like little adornments on it.
Nice.
He's got like a port window on the back, like, I don't know, something weird. We got to characterize these guys up. So, and then the last one is, what was it? Wall Street. Yeah.
Yeah. And his needs to be money green with gold trim.
There you go. He's almost like a pimp in a way, but like, but a little bit more reserved, like a Wall Street guy, but they call him Wall Street. And he's, I like that. I think it would be funny if like he like had a gaggle of guys that he always hangs with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's into some like really kinky S&M shit.
So he's got some yes men and yes women around.
Right, yeah. Like, I think it would be interesting. Not this is just little things in the background. Like maybe he gets caught somehow in some situation where the brother kills him in that compromising situation.
Right. Or maybe he's always got those people in the back seat,
Oh yeah.
of his Cadillac. So whenever there's dialogue with him, they're always hanging out in the back,
snorting coke and like wearing like fucking gimp masks and shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
No disrespect to anybody, by the way. I trust me, I've been to plenty of these events. Let's see. Okay, so now that we got the character set down, there's going to be one person that they talk to frequently, and who's that going to be? It's got to be some just like androgynous name or someone that they only speak to through like a phone call. Yeah,
so like a Charlie's Angels Charlie type.
Right, but for the bad guys, yeah.
For the bad guys, yeah.
And wait, I mean, just so we can remember, Blade, Redbeard, Sticks, and Wall Street. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Good androgynous name for the voice on the... What if they just call him the voice?
Okay. Yeah, we could do that. So where do we go from here, Isaac? I've thrown us completely off course. Voice.
The voice, or if we don't want to use the voice, I was thinking maybe Ghost, since they never see him.
Right.
Or her.
Maybe they have a nickname for them, but they don't know their name.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? Like, they just call it the voice.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, these 4 Cadillac Killers have other, little henchmen sort of, in the background, I would say.
Yeah.
Because they can't run
absolutely.
this entire operation, all 4 of them. Like, this is just way too much, so...
No, it has to be a hierarchy, with the voice at the top, and then these 4 Cadillac Killers, and then the people underneath them.
Right, okay. So, Isaac... Earl sees... Why did I even say that? Earl sees the video, and he sees his brother getting drawn and quartered, but you don't really need to see it, because we already saw it in the beginning of the movie. But you just see, like, parts of it, and, like, he sees the ring that his dad gave, or that he wore of his dad's, and they fought over who would have it when they passed away, but he gave it to his brother, his older brother, because he was the dad now,
Yes.
sort of thing. So where do we go from here?
All right, from here, he has to, Earl has to find a way to get close to these people.
Okay.
And that's the hard part, because he doesn't. The only way he knows about these people is that he's recognized Ben on the tape, or on the videotape. I'm dating myself. On the video, and someone connected to Ben has sent it to him.
Maybe his friend is friends with, like, a hacker or something.
Oh, it could be who can get information about where that video came from.
Right.
Yeah. His best friend, the one who's trying to warn him off all this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He, like, finally submits and is like, okay, here you go,
Right.
Now, does his friend get caught up in any of this by the end, or is that too typical?
I think he's probably going to have to in some way.
Right, like the hacker, like, rats him out and then leads him to him, and then he kills his best friend, so it's like him reliving his brother dying all over again.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because there are people with tech skills in every segment, so the Cadillac Killers are going to have people who post the videos.
Right.
And they're going to know, they're going to be on the lookout for law enforcement, for one thing.
Okay.
So they're going to have a lot of security and monitoring and things like that from their end, so they can see who's not necessarily who's looking at them, but where these looks are coming from.
Okay.
So maybe that's how
they let him in so that they can see the information and then go kill him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, they're aware, they're fully aware.
Right.
Okay. And this hacker, of course, is, like, super conceited. He thinks he's so good.
Yeah.
And they pay him, like, $10,000 or something to try to figure it out or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
Just to get him to do it, because there's got to be some reason, because he knows about these workarounds where they can track him back, even if he has, like, a VPN or whatever the hell you call it. I don't want to get too much into the hacker thing, but somehow that guy gets tortured the fuck out of. Now, in between, are we going to see them doing initiations with other people?
I think we're going to have to. And I think, Earl, when he gets involved with it, is going to have to, as he becomes familiar with the organization, is going to have to see what they do. And maybe they start by showing him some of their other earlier videos.
Okay.
So we get all these shots of, or all these videos of different things they've done in the past. And then they start to take him out for, other initiations.
Okay.
So, because what they want in their initiates is for them to top each other. So anyone who's going to be initiated, they, maybe they take turns, and one of them does their initiation, and then the next person, they're like, okay, you saw what he did. You've got to top that.
Gotcha.
To be in.
So now the Cadillac Killers are participating with these other initiates, right? The other people.
Right.
Okay, because I would think that would be fun, because I could just picture Styx getting so mad that he slams into one of them to kill another one on top of it, and then he backs up and you see the mangled bodies all together and they film it and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, he kills one of the initiates and they're like, you got to stop doing that, man.
We're running out of new people.
Yeah, we're fucking running out of people here, man. I don't give a fuck. He's like crazy. He's like smoking a pipe, like. Just out
No,
in public.
maybe that's like Wall Street's big complaint, because maybe he's the oldest among them, and he knows he doesn't have like long left for the world, so he wants to bring in the fresh blood, and Styx keeps killing him.
Right. Okay. and I think in a backstory, or like background story, it would be like Wall Street is kind of the kind of person who thinks he's going to be moving up to upper management.
Yes, there you go.
And everybody else is just these piddling little whatevers while he's trying to move up the chain, and they all kind of hate him for it because they know that he's kind of right.
Yeah.
So, but they all have to work together anyway because they're still making gang loads of money. So, okay, so he gets in one of the initiations, and that's when we see some of these things take off. Now, he doesn't get to be in the car right away, right? Like right. He can't just go out and kill people, because that would be kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Unless he killed one of the other initiates or one of the big guys and got away with it.
Right.
Like there could be some drama between one of the 4 Cadillac people that run it for the most part, and he kills one of them, but he does it in such a cool way, even though he's like, they kind of accept him in.
Well, yeah, like maybe, so you're thinking one of the 4 that we've named who runs it, gets killed.
Maybe it Styx because he's the
maybe
one
it Styx because he's the one that would have to go, because he's the one that the other 3 are kind of secretly afraid of.
Right. They don't know where he's going to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and he keeps fucking and making more work for them.
Right.
So in a way, they're like sad that he's gone, but they're like kind of relieved.
And maybe Earl is one of the initiates he gets into it with, and is about to. And Earl is the first initiate to actually overpower him and take him out.
What if Styx mentions how they killed the one guy with the drawn quarter?
And there you go.
How he squealed like a whatever, and he kind of has to hold it back,
Yeah.
until that moment. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That way the hatred that's unleashed on him is like
boiling.
Really, yeah. Like, that's really powerful, like, especially for the viewer, because they've kind of gone through it too.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay, so what next? So maybe we can see, before that happens, though, maybe he shows up to help out, and he's only setting everything up for these situations. Maybe he has to work on a car or something, and that's how you start out. You have to fix cars and under watch.
Yeah, dude, you have to do like the standard peon stuff.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before you can even be accepted in, because you have to
right.
Yeah. Okay. So then he watches one of these races with one of the initiates, and he sees that they're even getting killed off because Styx kills the one. Mm-hmm. And maybe you see another one like somehow get caught by the police or something. I don't know. And then they have to go kill him or whatever. And it's this big ordeal. I don't know. But like they have to do really, really dark serial killer type stuff.
Yeah.
Like some of these guys really got to be messed up. My opinion.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
And I think if we get like about 2 or 3 more kills and then like wrap it up for the, how he's going to take down this thing. And then maybe at the very end, I picture him picking up the phone for the voice. And it's just like, I'm coming for you next. And it just throws the phone or whatever.
Yeah.
Or does
absolutely.
the cool action thing and just shoots the phone, The overkill thing,
Yes.
But, maybe, or he like, I'm jumping ahead, but it'll help us fill in the story maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe at the end, he ties one of the main people up, Mr. Wall Street or whatever, Wall Street. And he ties them all to his like guys and then just burns them alive.
Nice.
And then he's on his phone. The phone rings and he looks down, and it just says the voice. And it has like money symbols around it. And then he answers it, and they're like, "We see what you did." And he's like, "I know, and I'm fucking coming for you next." And then throws it down.
Nice.
Sets the guy on fire. All the people are screaming,
Yeah.
So now how do we get to that point?
Well, he's got to go through. He's already taken care of Styx. Styx is already out, and that's brought him closer to the other 3, where they think, okay, well, maybe we can actually convert him into one of us. We know he came here to get at us.
Right, because we did talk about that, yeah.
Yeah, but maybe we can actually change him now that he's taken Styx out and give him sort of let him slide into the Styx position without officially making him.
Gotcha.
So they sort of give him that carrot. They put that carrot in front of him.
Gotcha.
Like, you could be Styx replacement. You're not yet, but you could be. To kind of whet his appetite for that.
Okay.
So if he's going to tie up Wall Street last, then he's got to get through Blade and Redbeard.
Right.
So.
And Redbeard's a big guy.
Redbeard's a big guy.
So it might be kind of good to get him next.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the chick, and then or Blade, that's her name, and then Wall Street. Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe he can fight. Maybe he's got some psychological expertise here too, and he can start sowing some discord between those three. Because they all already hated Styx, so Styx was easy comparatively. But maybe he can start,
sabotaging their car or something.
Yeah, and doing it in a way that, like, something happens to Wall Street's car and it looks like Blade did it, or something like that.
Something that he carries on him that they found near it or something, or in the yeah, like maybe there's always toothpicks, like fucking Redbeard's always got toothpicks and cigars and shit, and they found a cigar like in the engine piece that's like near it. Nice. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So they think that it's like he's trying to get a leg up because then they'll win all the money.
Right. Yeah. And Wall Street in particular should be last because we already know that he's planning on moving up.
Right.
To management. And so it starts to look like that Blade and Redbeard are conspiring against him, or Earl starts to make it look like that.
Okay. So maybe Blade and him and Wall Street get into a fight where she tries to cut him and stabs him a little bit, and it's like, and then he has to, he kills her in some messed up way.
Yeah.
I know, I'm getting really dark here in my mind. Maybe it's Redbeard and her. Yeah, because we did say the cigar
Wall Street. Yeah, and Wall Street's last. So yeah, it would have to be Redbeard and Blade.
Yeah, okay. So she finds the cigar in some issue with the car. We could figure this out later, guys. But there's some issue that causes her car to overheat, and it's because they didn't have I don't know, maybe there's no coolant in it and there's a cigar inside the coolant, or you know what I mean? Like something stupid like that. And then they get into it and she tries to stab him, and it doesn't take him down at all. You know what I mean?
Because he's the big guy.
Right. So they get into it, you know what I mean? And he's like throwing her around the like shop.
Yeah.
And maybe like some of her workers, her underlings, because it's almost kind of like Death Race. Like they have these different people that work underneath them in a way, but they're like super loyal to them because they want to be a Cadillac killer to make all this money and not die. It's another motivation. But then like he's like killing some of her shop guys or shop people. Maybe she has a lot of female shop workers.
And you know what? If they're going to be in a shop, it could be, like maybe he drops an engine on her.
Ooh.
So like because they have the cranes where the motors are suspended that they're going to lower into cars. So if they're inside the shop where they're doing that, maybe there can be one that's suspended.
I got a better one. I like your idea with the engine. I think he like manhandles her, but she's like a ninja. You know what I mean? Like she wraps around him like a pretzel and is like snapping his fingers and like kicking out his leg. And somehow she gets him on his back. I don't know how that is. And that's how she drops the chain, but something happens that it hits something else and kills her for doing it.
Oh, wow.
Do you know what I mean? That'd be kind of cool.
No, I get it. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, would that be too quick to take people out? Or maybe it kills some of her workers and then she has to die some other way.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, maybe it drops the engine, but it somehow pulls something else as she's dropping it. I know what a cherry picker is and, dropping it down on somebody, but I don't know. Somehow it fucks something up. She narrowly avoids the death, but like 3 of her workers get sawed in fucking half. And you just see their bodies like topple over next to her. as she's ducking.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? Like, but but his face
like
is fucking destroyed. Like
Yeah.
there is no getting up from that. But there's got to be several instances of when they're fighting that this happens.
Yeah.
And then she catches wind that he was the one with the cigar somehow.
Yeah.
And the voice even pays her money because they have cameras set up all over the place, and maybe the voice sends them the picture of him setting it up.
Maybe because the voice likes to pit them against each other. That's part of the fun.
Right. And maybe since it's what was it, Earl that set that up, that tried to get them doing it?
Yeah.
Maybe the voice leads her to him again.
Yeah.
Like you said, like you were saying, yeah. Pit them against each other.
Right.
And he gets a lot of money. Like every time you get money, your phone rings at a certain thing and there's money deposited.
Yeah.
And he gets it right, after she does, and she gets it too. And she's like, why did you get it? And that plays something into it.
That's awesome. I like that.
I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting. I like this idea.
Yeah. It'd be like a PayPal alert.
Right. Yeah. Some sort of like,
yeah,
like Kill Pal.
Yeah.
Some sort of Kill Pal alert, It's just a guy with a knife in his chest,
Nice.
So she's got to die, and we got to get to the last one. So she's trying to kill him now, and there's this big, all-out battle between them.
And somebody needs to be an engine running somewhere in the shop, and somebody needs to like have their face destroyed by the fan.
Ooh. Or it could be anywhere else.
Yeah.
It could be a tire too. Yeah, that's good though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something spinning that maybe Earl can push her face into.
Makes me think of if it was a tire, it makes me think of Pet Sematary 2.
Yeah.
where the fucking dad takes the fucking motorcycle tire.
Yeah, I remember
screeches.
That. First movie I ever saw Clancy Brown in.
Oh
Pet
yeah,
Sematary
that
2.
guy. Yeah. I loved him in that.
I think he gets far less credit than he deserves for the characters he plays.
Right. Yeah, probably. He's really good. He's got some swagger about him.
Yeah.
All right. So how do we get to the? Okay. So maybe it is the fan, and she gets her hand stuck in there. So it's not just like her face right away, but she tries to stop it.
Yeah.
And it just saws up her hands.
Yeah.
But there's got to be this big fight between them, and maybe she even breaks his arm, at some point. So he has to have someone drive with him to chase after Wall Street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he can still use his hand, but he's got to shift
right
somehow. You know what I mean? Like it's really messed up. I don't know, just something interesting like that. I just want to see his arm get broken or something.
Right.
So he's got one arm, and he's still kicking these guys' asses.
Yeah, he's the protagonist in a horror movie. He can't come out unscathed.
Right. And I definitely, whenever he gets to Wall Street's den of sexual deviancy, it's not just sexual deviance. It's like really dark, like necrophiliac type shit, or just torture. And
nice.
you know what I mean? Like there's just a group of people, and he's just there's cameras in each of them. It's almost like Hostel in each room, but there's patrons that sit around it and watch these things, in his little den of fucking deviancy or whatever. I don't know. Which is why he's so good at he should be one of the voices,
right.
one of the main people up there, because he's already running some sort of game like that.
Yeah, he's already trying to show them that he is one of them, in the hopes that they'll bring him up. So
right, he's looking for a merger.
Yeah. There you go.
It's got to be a merger because that just makes more sense. To him, it is a merger. To
him, it is a merger. Yeah. Absolutely. They have the same interests.
Right. Okay. So she gets her hands chopped up and her face stuck in there, but he gets his arm broke. He gets a call from Wall Street. She does. The girl Blade gets a call from Wall Street. And it's really bloody, guys. I want it to be ultra bloody. So what do we do now?
All right, so he's got the call from Wall Street because Wall Street wants to I don't know, is he wanting to confront him, or is he still thinking he can bring him over, and now that the other two are gone,
or does he know that his rope is really short?
Right.
And he's trying to like spearhead it before it's too late kind of thing.
So he calls him over for some reason. Maybe he's got a trap for him in his den there. You know, maybe he's just kind of laying in wait.
His friend.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
He's in one of the rooms, but he doesn't know that he's there yet.
Yeah.
He tells him to come there, so he comes because he's still keeping up the appearance in a way to try to get everyone. But as he's passing by one of the windows, he sees, or maybe it's like one of the main acts is his friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's in this really weird compromising situation where if he kills him, his friend will die, and probably he's going to die anyway. So, but they have to like put him in some weird situation.
Yeah,
where it's like a tug of war sort of thing.
And he already has to be careful because he's going in with a broken arm.
Right.
Now.
Yeah.
And it needs to be like his strong arm, you know.
His jerking hand.
So yeah.
I always assume that when people say that.
So he's got to come up with a creative way to get out of this and get rid of Wall Street without actually throwing punches.
Okay.
Because he can't.
So this fire happens. Does Wall Street try to get away, or does it happen in his little den of?
I think it's going to happen in the den.
Ooh, right on stage. And they have all of the patrons watch him and pay him.
Yeah.
Or as a pro bono thing. I don't know. I like this. Okay, so maybe he ties him up in some weird fucking Saw fucking type thing. I don't want to say Saw, but
yeah,
it's just to get our brain just going a little bit. So he puts him in a situation where he can either save his friend and walk by walking away, which they're going to ultimately try to kill him anyway.
Right.
Or he could kill him. Now we got to get all serious. Like, it was so easy before this. God damn it. Oh, shit, man. I don't know.
Earl is tied up right now.
Right.
Or is it? Okay. Earl is tied up.
Earl is now, he's been captured because he has to submit because of his friend being on the stage.
Right.
And he's in some weird killer contraption, his friend. What's his friend's name? Did we ever say?
We never said. So, yeah.
It's all you, man, if you want.
Let's call him Phil.
Phil, okay. All right, so Phil's on stage in some weird messed up contraption. Also, what's his name's also? He's like, if you can sit here for 10 hours without moving, and there's some sort of like crazy thing on there, and somehow he figures out a way. I don't know. Maybe they kill his friend anyway.
Yeah.
Or his friend ends up dying and he gets up anyway to try to kill him, and there's this big fight with all of Wall Street's side guards.
I like that.
You know?
And maybe there could be some like some confrontational banter between Earl and Wall Street, so it finally occurs to Wall Street that he's not going to break him.
Okay.
So he just goes ahead and kills Phil.
Okay. And he loses it at this point, and that's when.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Earl still has like one of Redbeard's cigars with him or something to start the fire.
Okay. Yeah, he lights it up, and then, that's a good idea. So somehow he gets out of the contraption and goes after Wall Street, but then Wall Street tries to slink down some secret tunnel or whatever the hell in his little den area. And he kills a couple of the guys real quick, snaps one of their necks, impales the other one to the fucking door. And then he just kind of casually puts on a coat and walks out with a hat to kind of be one of the patrons or something like that, you know?
Yeah. I like that.
Because there's a lot of things going on at this point in time, you know what I mean? So,
and it's chaos in the den at this point.
Right. And there's sex and violence everywhere. Okay, so he goes chasing after Wall Street out into, maybe Wall Street just runs right out into the crowd of people and tries to slink down behind the main stage to get out the back somehow.
Yeah.
And that's when he catches him and somehow puts him on the stage and puts gas all over him. somehow in front of the audience or something like that. I think it would be good.
Yeah.
And then the phone rings, the voice or whatever, and that's when the end happens. And then sequel.
Nice. Nice. I like that. I think we should set up the gas cans like throughout the movie. Though there should always be like a can of gas nearby. Okay. Because they're the Cadillac Killers, and where are they going to go if they don't have fuel? So
right.
So maybe in every scene they're in, there's a gas can somewhere.
Ooh, what if they're like on the sides of the car or something, or
there you go.
And that's where he ends up dying.
Yeah.
And they have all the people, the patrons come out to see what he does to him.
I like that.
Because they're really into this kind of thing, so they don't really care.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So they follow him out, and then, he ties his arms to the steering wheel. Yeah. And then puts a bunch of cans in from all the different cars.
Nice.
And then just sets it up. And he's he's screaming at the top of his lungs, and like his skin's like pulling off of his hands, and like, you know what I mean? And he's like, even got one around his neck, and he just like, you can see it ripping the skin, and blood's pouring out as he's dying. But that's when the phone rings, and then he's like, or maybe should it be before or after? I think it's maybe after, because it needs to end on it.
Yeah.
So then the phone rings, and he's like, "Yep, you like what I did? Yeah, we just sent you a ton of money for it. How's it feel to be in charge of the Cadillac Killers?" And he's like, "Feels great. Coming for you fucking next."
I like that. Awesome.
They try to like lure him in with money and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's cool, man. But like, to give it that horror element, guys, like tucked in the corners of the movie, like, in the den, you see people like carving people up, filleting their skin, jamming things in their eyes while masturbating around them, like just like really fucked up shit there. We'll have a couple of really gory deaths with some of the initiates, some of the initiation guys. But yeah, I think that's a wrap.
Yeah, I like it.
I do too. I would watch that shit.
I would too.
If it had a fucking budget, like, I think that would kick ass. Like, you'd have to make it really stylish.
Yeah.
It'd have to be like the Smoking Aces guys or something,
Nice.
They were really good with the characters. Like, I really like that movie for that reason.
Yeah.
So what's the tagline? What do we...
Oh, the tagline for Cadillac Killers.
I'm just thinking of Pig Cadillac, and that doesn't match up. I don't know what.
I keep wanting to go somewhere with squealing and tires.
Oh, okay. Let me see if that kind of opens it up a little bit.
Or maybe tires and burning rubber. Like, that's not rubber you smell burning.
I like it. That's awesome, man. That's fucking awesome.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, no, I'm really good with that.
All
that's
right.
not that's not rubber you're wait, say it again.
That's not rubber you smell burning.
Okay, that's not rubber you smell burning. Cadillac Killers. The Cadillac Killers. Dude, Random, I hope you fucking enjoyed this. Random viewer, thank you so much for submitting that. I will do the best I can to try to epitomize the movie that we just made up. What do you guys think of the movie that we came up with? Did you like the characters? What are your favorite parts? What would you have changed about the movie if you had a chance to sit here with us? What do you guys think? Let us know in any of the information, any of the social media, anywhere that we can. You can even write comments on our website. So feel free to do it. We love talking to you. We've been getting a lot of people involved, so we appreciate it. But yeah, man, thank you so much for coming on, Isaac.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. And, if you ever looking to do something in the future, let me know, man. We can do this again and again if you ever want to. So,
well, hey, and keep the titles I submitted in the cup there. I'd love to see if one of those gets pulled sometime.
Always. I'll keep them in here. I can't lose the cup now. I think the only reason we lost them before is because we had to switch it up to like holidays. So, but yeah, no, definitely keeping him in there. So Isaac's got a couple in here as well, guys. So you'll have to be on the lookout for that in one of our next Graveplots somewhere in the future. So where can they find you online?
They can find me on the web at isaacthorne.com. That's Thorne with an E. On Twitter, I am Isaac R. Thorne. And same thing on Facebook. So those are the three places you can catch up with me.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks again, dude. I really appreciate it. And we will, I'll catch you sometime soon, I hope, man.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot.
All right, guys, I want to give a big thanks to Isaac, our guest, coming on to the show. It was a fucking absolute blast, man. Love to have you on to do another Graveplots or just hang out anytime, brother. Definitely enjoyed that Graveplots. Let us know what you guys think in the comments section below. And if you haven't already, check out our longlivethevoid.com. All of our social media links and everything are on there. If you guys are on iTunes, even if you don't listen on iTunes, if you give us a review, it really does go a long way. You don't have to, but it does help us to get more people, and the more we have, the better time we're gonna have. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming, listening this week. We'll see you this Thursday with a brand new episode for American Mary and May. So stay tuned.
Stay weird, monsters.
To Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. Tune in this Thursday for part 2 of Human Seamstress.